Hello, this is Rogers Redding, National Coordinator of Football Officials, and I'd like to welcome you to another in our series of videos designed especially for the media and the fans. Before we get to the videos, I want to make a point about penalty enforcement of the targeting foul. We know that if we have a targeting foul in conjunction with another foul, such as kick-catch interference, for example, then if replay takes off the targeting, the 15-yard penalty is still enforced for the kick-catch interference foul. What apparently is confusing is that when the referee says personal foul targeting, some are interpreting that to mean that there is another foul in conjunction with the targeting foul. But this is not the case. The term personal foul is an umbrella term that simply gives a category of fouls, but under that there are a number of fouls. Kick-catch interference is a personal foul. Roughing the passer is a personal foul. A chop block is a personal foul. Clipping is a personal foul, and targeting is a personal foul. And so when the referee announces that there is a personal foul for targeting, this is not two different fouls. If there are two separate fouls, he will announce, for example, kick-catch interference with targeting, or roughing the passer with targeting. And the word with is important here because that's a signal that there are two different fouls involved. And so if replay overturns the targeting portion, the 15-yard penalty for the other foul, such as kick-catch interference or roughing the passer, would in fact be enforced. But if he just says personal foul targeting, that's just to indicate that we have a personal foul and that personal foul is targeting. The targeting is a personal foul and not a second foul. Well, hopefully that'll help clear that up, and if you have any lingering questions about it, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Well, now let's go ahead and get to the plays. On this punt play, we have a situation where we get a call for kick-catch interference, and we could easily have had a foul for targeting on the same play. So this would be targeting with kick-catch interference had it been called on the field. The instant replay official does come in and create the targeting foul, so this is a good job by replay to come in and add targeting onto the kick-catch interference penalty that had already been called on the field. Here we have something of a textbook example of an illegal block below the waist. You're going to see this easily on the line feed as well as on the replay. Number 61 on the offense on this sweep play throws a block below the waist that is illegal. In order to make this legal, he must come around from the front and directly approach the opponent in that 10-2 region. Obviously this was from the side, so this is an illegal block below the waist, correctly called. Good announcement by the referee.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 61. 15-yard penalty. Still second down.
The kicking game can be one of the most challenging parts of the football game for the players and officials and everyone else to understand what's going on. On this play, we have a very unusual set of circumstances. We have what we refer to as illegal touching by the kicking team, and then the receiving team touches the ball after that, and that's followed by the kicking team recovering the ball to end the play. Now, what complicates this further is the fact that there was a holding foul against the receiving team while the ball was still alive. So we have several things to think about here. First of all, the touching by the kicking team, we refer to it as illegal touching. It is not a foul. There is no yardage penalty associated with it. But what it means is that the receiving team has the privilege of taking the ball at the spot of illegal touching, even though they may have fumbled it or muffed it or whatever else. What complicates things on this particular play is that privilege of taking the ball is eliminated if there is an accepted penalty for any foul during the play. So because of the fact that the receiving team was guilty of holding during this play, then by accepting the penalty, the kicking team wipes out that illegal touching. And so it has no effect. And so because the kicking team was in legal possession of the ball at the end of the play, the penalty is enforced at the previous spot and the kicking team retains possession of the ball. So it's a complicated play, and in this particular situation, apparently the officials did not see the original illegal touching by the kicking team. And so instant replay came in and demonstrated that there was in fact that illegal touching. And so the penalty for the holding foul is correctly enforced at the previous spot, and the kicking team retains possession of the football. Rules.
Team number 8. That'll be a 10-yard penalty and result in a first down. TCU.
I have this play on here to illustrate how a penalty is enforced on fourth down. We should have had a call for a late hit out of bounds here. We should have had a dead ball foul for a late hit out of bounds. And notice that the ball carrier is short of the line to gain on fourth down. So what this means is that had this foul been called, then the penalty would have been enforced after the ball had gone over to the defensive team. The ball goes over on downs, and since this would have been a dead ball foul, the play is over as soon as the ball carrier goes out of bounds, and then the foul is committed. So what we would do would be to enforce the penalty and then set the chains 1st and 10 for the defensive team. This would not give the offensive team an automatic first down because the foul actually takes place after the play is already over. Here's an example of a foul for blocking below the waist by a back. Notice that the back moves out of the tackle box after the snap and then comes back in and blocks from the side below the waist against an opponent. Now, had he not moved outside the tackle box, that is, had he stayed in the tackle box and then made this same block, it would have been okay. But once he moves outside the tackle box, then if he blocks below the waist, he must do it from the very front in the 10-2 regime. And here he blocks clearly from the side, so this is correctly called as illegal blocking below the waist.
Illegal block below the waist. Number 80 offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
This play illustrates a point about the uniform numbers of the players on the line of scrimmage. The rules require that there be at least 5 players numbered 50 through 79 on the line. However, the exception is that if a team is in a scrimmage kick formation, then they may have fewer than 5 players numbered 50 through 79. The reason for the rule is to allow the speed guys to get up on the line of scrimmage to go down and cover on punts. Here you see that they have fewer than 5 players. In fact, they may not have any players numbered 50 through 79 on the line of scrimmage. And this is okay because they're in a scrimmage kick formation. And that means that they have at least 1 player 10 yards or more behind the line of scrimmage, and that it is obvious that a kick will be attempted. And I want to point out that they're not required to kick out of this formation in order to make the formation legal, but the formation must give the appearance that they will attempt to kick. So this is perfectly legal even though they do not kick. This play gives us a good illustration of a chop block. In this particular case, we have a back and a lineman involved in a high-low combination block against a defender, so this is correctly called as a chop block. This is a 2-person foul, which is the reason that the referee is to announce both numbers, because neither of these by themselves is a foul, but in combination they are a chop block foul. And so we get the call and we get the announcement of both players' numbers as participating in this foul.
Foul, chop block, offense number 22 and number 79 in a high-low combination. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Here we have a good example of an offensive pass interference foul. What you're going to see is that the tight end on the left side of the formation comes out into the secondary and blocks down on a defender, and the wideout to his side, to the left side, cuts off that block in the space that has been created. So this is a classic offensive pass interference. This is not just a man running a route. This is a man coming down and throwing a block. Now sometimes this is referred to as a pick play or a rub play, but we know that there must be contact. You might have a pick play without having any contact, but here it's clear that the offensive player is blocking down on the defender in order to create space for another receiver.
Pass interference. Offense number 87.
Yeah, that's who they got.
Penalties declined. Fourth down.
Well, that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed these plays. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with some more. Thanks very much for watching, and have great games this weekend.